Hey guys, and welcome to One Off Outdoors. This is the installation video for your Guardian bumper system. Now what I suggest is that you watch the video all the way through to see how each step is put together in the installation process. Then once you watch that video all the way through, then go back and actually start your installation. Alright guys, let's get started. Step 1. You're going to remove the black nose shield from the front of your ski. There are 4 T30 screws that look like this that you're going to be removing. 1 from each side and 2 under the nose. Step 2, examine the 2 fiberglass tabs on the front of your ski and drill them out using a 5/16 drill bit. If these tabs are cracked, it's okay. These are only being used to align the nose piece. They are not used for any kind of structure. Step number 3, put the nose brace on the ski. Align using 2 1/4" by 20 stainless steel 1 3/4" hex bolts. Partially screw these in. This will help align the bracket. Next, take a permanent marker and outline the outside of the nose brace and mark the 2 opposing holes on each corner. Step number 4, lightly sand with an 80 grit sandpaper the marked area and wipe off with a damp rag. Do not use alcohol or any other cleansers, as this will affect the bond of the adhesive and it will not bond correctly. Step number 5, drill out those 2 opposing holes with a 3/16 drill bit. Step number 6, apply the 3M 5200 adhesive, which is supplied with your kit, to the back of the nose brace. Set this brace in place and realign using the 2 1 3/4" bolts and partially tighten those bolts. Once these screws are in, again, make sure that your holes in the corners are aligned. Step number 7, screw in the 2 1-inch hex head screws. Do not over tighten. Now that these 2 are tightened, go ahead and drill out the 6 remaining holes and apply those screws, and make sure you don't over tighten those as well. Allow 72 hours for the 3M adhesive to completely dry before putting this on the water. You can continue with your install since the screws are in place. Step number 8. Now that your nose brace has been secured, remove the 2 1 3/4" stainless steel bolts from the underside of the nose brace. Replace the plastic nose shield. Do not use any bolts to hold the plastic nose shield in place. Okay, I know there are many of you out there that are concerned about putting these screws into your ski. You do not have to do that. If you choose just to put the adhesive on, tape this in place, let it dry for 72 hours, and then come back and finish your install, you can. However, what you need to understand is putting screws into the fiberglass of your ski or applying any aftermarket device does not void your warranty. Your warranty on the fiberglass is only good for 1 year from your date of purchase. These screws going in here with this adhesive makes this very strong, very resilient, and definitely keeps it from moving. So even if you're apprehensive about putting these screws in, I would go ahead and strongly recommend that you do, to make sure that this gets wrapped and stays very tight and makes a very good bond with your adhesive. But again, the choice is yours. But definitely I recommend using all 8 of these screws. This is your installation and assemble for the Guardian, okay? So if you'll notice, it's going to come in 3 pieces. This is your front piece, and this is the brace post that is going to be positioned right up here on top of your fiberglass. I've supplied a piece of foam, and you're going to adhere that foam to it right here. Now, if you get in real close, I want to show you. This piece right here is flat here, and if you notice, it's got a little bit of a taper right here. So we're going to line this up on the flat side, and then you're just going to take a razor blade and you're going to trim off the rest. Now what you're going to do is you're going to take the 2 bumper arms and you're going to slide both of them into place. Make sure that the bumper arms are sloping upwards and that the cleat plates are facing inwards. You may find that as you go to put this in, that the bolts may not go through the holes because of the powder coating. If that's the case, then you need to get a 5/16 drill bit. You run the drill bit all the way through both holes, like that, and you just lightly spin it, and you're just lightly removing that paint. Don't wallow out the hole, you're just lightly removing the paint. Now, once you've done that, then you can slide it through, line up these holes, and again, it's going to take a little bit of lining up because we wanted these really tight. Move that around, a little bit of shaking, and there it'll go all the way through. But you are going to have to work with that a little bit, so be patient with yourself. This side, the bolt goes in from the top, and your brass locking nut, the brass 5/16 locking nut, goes in from the bottom. And for right now, you're not going to tighten that up. You're just going to secure it into place. All right, let's get the other side done. Now that we've got our arms on, and again, our bolts are through, but they're not tightened down. When you slide the Guardian into place, if you'll notice, you've got these 2 plates. This is your bottom plate that goes under the nose. This is the plate that goes on top of the fiberglass. These are going to sandwich in between. So what you're going to do, now you're just going to slide this up into place, get it right over the center. Just like that, okay? Now, if you'll notice, these cleat plates went in on both sides. Step 11, using the 2 3/4 inch stainless steel hex head bolts with a flat washer and a split ring washer, screw those into place under the nose, but only partially tighten. Now, you're gonna have your split ring goes to the top and then your flat washer goes next. Now, at this part of the install, you may need some help. And that is, you're going to have someone push on this rack to help line up these 2 holes. You'll need to lay flat to your back, look straight up in, and make sure that you get these screws going in straight. You don't want to cross thread them. Step number 12, place a U-bolt behind the cleat. Align so the U-bolt goes through both holes on the cleat plate. Screw on 2 5/16 brass nylock nuts. Only hand tighten and then repeat on the other side. Now, in order for these to go through, you're going to come in underneath this bar and you're going to hook that behind the bar. And you're going to bring this cleat plate down, and this takes a little bit of lining up and patience. So you're going to bring that down and just kind of move that around until that U-bolt does that. Now, take your 2 brass nylock nuts and screw them on and just hand tighten to the end of each side of your U-bolt. And now repeat on the other side. Step 13. Put a flat washer on your 14x20 stainless steel 1 3/4 inches long hex head lag screws. Insert through the side tab found midway on the bumper. Partially tighten and repeat on the other side. Now, at this point, you may run into some issues. And that is, when they put this plastic nose shield on in the factory, it's really under a lot of tension. So you might have to take a small screwdriver like this, run this through the plastic shield, find the original hole that went through your bumper rail, and get that lined up. And then once you see that that's completely lined up, then you can insert your lag screw and then partially tighten about halfway down. Step 14, evenly tighten down the 5/16 brass nylock nuts on each U-bolt. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my drill, but I'm going to go kind of real slow here. And I'm going to try to get these as even as possible, where I've got the same amount of thread sticking out on each side. Just like that. I've got the same amount of thread sticking out on each side, so this is balanced. Now repeat on the other side. Step 15, evenly tighten down the 2 1 3/4 stainless steel hex head bolts under the nose of the ski. Again, do not over tighten. Step 16, tighten down the 2 1 3/4 hex head long lag screws. Do not over tighten. You are screwing these into the fiberglass and the plastic bumper shield, so a good, snug, tight fit will work. This completes the installation of your Guardian bumper system.